Listen to the vibes.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Vibes. And I'd love to welcome here John Diggs, who is the creator of I Am Mind Map System. We're going to get to know him, have a great conversation. Mr. Diggs, tell us a little bit more about you.
Yeah, well, I'm doing fabulous. Thanks for having me, Kyle. Again, my name is John Diggs. Just a little bit about myself for your listeners is born and raised in Los Angeles, went and played football at Washington State University, go Cougs, played several years of professional football. From there, I got into the mortgage business in Southern California, built one of the largest mortgage brokerages in all of Southern California, living a millionaire like lifestyle, made more money as a mortgage guy than I did as a professional football player. Living a great life until the mortgage meltdown in 2007 in the recession, which caused me to lose literally everything. Everything I loved, everything I valued was gone. Houses, cars, even my wife and kids left. It
Oh,
was really the lowest point of my life, and I was forced basically to move back to my mother's house. When I went back there, all I took with me was a my bike, a gym bag, and a big box that was full of motivational tapes and CDs and things of that nature that I accumulated over the years. Always been into self-improvement, which I'm sure helped me build the big business that I had and live the successful life that I had before, the recession hit. So I knew I had to go back into that box to essentially rebuild my life. As I started going back to that inside of that box, there was this one book that resonated with me. It was called The Mind Map book by Tony Buzan. I don't recall buying it myself. I believe somebody gave it to me and I just kind of thumbed through it, but for whatever reason, it resonated with me and caused me to make a very powerful decision, which was to mind map all of the contents that was in that box. So I spent like 3 months of my life just all day, every day, just mind mapping books like Unlimited Power by Tony Robbins, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, The Power of Now. I mean, all of the most powerful self-help books. I was literally spending time mind mapping these books. And for those who haven't heard of mind mapping before, mind mapping is essentially just a visual information management tool, meaning that you can visually organize information in a map-like form. It's a very powerful way to take whatever you're thinking about and put it in a map form to give you greater perspective and understanding of whatever you got swirling in your mind. I mean, that's could be a decision making, problem solving, goal setting, dealing with issues in your past, planning trips, whatever that you're thinking about. A mind map is a way for you to visually kind of structure it in a way to really see it. And throughout that process of mind mapping the contents of that box, it really transformed my life in some very key ways. I started to gain connections of what not only the author was talking about, but what all of the authors were essentially talking about. In that I realized that they were all basically just uh, expressing the importance of loving our lives. That's really what they were really ultimately trying to get us to do. They all have their different philosophies, systems, and schools of thought on how to do it. But the ultimate goal that mind mapping, helped me see is that they were just trying to get us to love and live our best life while we have it, kind of deal. So that really empowered me to make a shift in my life and basically uh, it enabled me to transform my life. So I went from homeless and broke at my mom's house, and 8 months later, I was able to land a high six-figure paying job. And it was really a truly a rag to riches story that I know that was primarily driven by mind mapping. Very, very powerful tool for me. And one of the things that that first 3, 4 months, just to kind of finish that story for you, like I said, I mapped the contents of that box and I realized that the purpose of my life was to love and live my best life. But another thing that I got clear with that process was the importance of the power that I have to determine and decide how I want to love my life, how I want to live my life. It's really up to me. And that created me or spawned the idea for me to create the most powerful mind map I've ever created. And it's called now the I am mind map, to where what I essentially did was put in the middle of a piece of paper, like a piece of paper like this, landscape style. In the middle, I put the word I am. Then I really started thinking about what are the key components of my life that I want to embrace as just must-haves, if you will. What needs to take place for me to love my life. And after hours and weeks and days of grappling with this, I landed on I want to be healthy, I want to be wealthy, I want to be successful, and I want to be happy. So if you can visualize that in the middle of my map was I am, then I put health, wealth, success, and happiness on that mind map. Then that actually, like mind maps all often do, is that once you get to one place, it kind of opens up the door for you to start brainstorming each one of those areas that you put on your map. So I really started asking myself, what's most important about health to me? What really is, when I say healthy, what does that mean? Then I really broke down it. I mean, spiritual health, physical health, and mental health. And I did the same thing with wealth. I said, what does wealth mean? Is it truly just money? I was like, well, yeah, well, no, wealth meaning an abundance of something. I said, I've had a lot of money, but I wasn't really happy. So what do I want an abundance of? Then ultimately, again, after hours, days, and weeks of grappling with this, I wanted a wealth of positive emotions, wanted a wealth of specialized knowledge, wanted a wealth of freedom. You know, okay, that made sense. Then I moved over to success. What does success really mean to me? Then I broke down, I wanted to have successful relationships, I wanted to have successful results, and I wanted to have successful rewards. Then I did the same thing with happiness. And I looked at what does it take for John Diggs to be happy. Then I landed, I want to feel blessed for my past. I wanted to be grateful for my future. And I wanted to be fulfilled in the moment, the present moment. And once I did all of that process, I looked back at my map. I like pushed it away from me. And it was like a huge aha moment for me that I finally can see what my personal commandments are, or what my personal constitution is, if you will, or my GPS. It was like my playbook, it was like everything. It was like, this is what my life is about. And it was so illuminating for me, and so empowering for me that it caused me to start taking action to actually live what I mapped out, which I know gave me that energy and that power to go in to that interview and land that job of that was paying me almost $250,000, from homeless to $250,000 in 8 months. Was and I know it was all because of the process that I did with this I am process that I created. It transformed my life. And ever since then, that job that I landed in 2009, I became the largest, or one of the country's top mortgage software developers. We're now designing infrastructure for more COVID. When COVID hit and we were during the pandemic and quarantined, I decided to start writing books about what mind mapping was doing in my life, just to share it with other people. And since then, I've written 10 books. I've become an international best-selling author. I build and design a bunch of online courses, mini courses. I lead workshops, and I speak to colleges and student athletes and corporations all over the country, just showing them what I believe is the most important thing to do, and that's to really get clear on who you are. What are your life about? A lot of people may think they know, or a lot of people may define themselves as their title. I'm a husband, I'm a dad, this is what I do for a living, but really getting down to the nitty-gritty of what really is their life about and making conscious choices about what they want their life to be about is what I'm most excited about sharing with the world now because it really is enlightening and empowering for people to naturally see this is what my life is truly about so they can see areas that may need improvement or areas that they may be neglecting or all of these things in that nature. And in my coaching practices, it's really producing some amazing results from people that are in high school all the way to CEOs of big companies, just to really tangibly see their lives in such a way like that, that it empowers them in so many ways that I'm just touched, moved, and inspired now to just share it with the world and why I'm on your show. And I thank you for having me because I'm really passionate about helping people really get clear on what they want their life to be about.
Well, believe me, it's my pleasure. Now, I've had a lot of life coaches, transformational coaches, business coaches, and I've
Hmm.
taken bits and pieces from each one, and I've found a little bit of success here and there, but not truly what I've been looking for. And I've
Hmm.
wondered, is it if you're resonating with the person or with the actual system? What would you say sets you apart from other people, and how do I apply it to make me successful?
Great question. Great question. And this is where it's been what I've been finding has been setting me apart a little bit because I do pre- pretty good keynote talks. I got a great keynote speech and I lead a lot of workshops, helping people walk through this. But what's really been setting me apart is not that the rah-rah guys, which a lot of these motivational speakers are to really get you pumped, but it doesn't necessarily last a long time, because people are getting conditioned in their behaviors and their ways. And after, 2 weeks of going to a weekend seminar, you kind of lost the juice or the sizzle. But what I try to do is share information with people that they can walk away with a tangible tool that they can constantly reference on their own and continue to evolve. So what I do is try to show them the template of building an I am mind map, if you will. And I will show them the benefits of really digging deep in some of these areas that resonate with them. Then afterwards, most of my clients, yeah, I would say over 90% of the clients that I've been working with, they're so excited about going down that rabbit hole of, yeah, what really does health mean to me? And what action steps do I need to take to improve these areas of my mind map now that I can see, what's happening in my life and I can actually see the action items that I need to take to improve in these areas. I'm finding that my approach, my system, lasts a lot longer than that initial introduction, where people are like, I understand what you're saying and I see the importance of getting clear on who I am and in some sense self-actualizing myself, getting clear on what I want my life to be. And I see the tool on that can help me clarify that and define that. And also I've been finding a lot, Kyle, is that when life throws you curveballs, when things don't happen as you expect, which happens a lot, whether it's a death, whether it's, a loss of job or, loss of a relationship, or when life changes, a lot of people like myself struggle with trying to roll with that punch, if you will, or determine what's next. And what I'm finding is that when people have a tangible I am mind map, of this is what my life's about, it helps people navigate through those storms. It's like a GPS. All right, this is what I said I want my life to be, despite what externally it looks like. This is my internal process here. Like I said, my GPS, or this is the core values, my core beliefs, and where I'm trying to live. So let me revisit this during these trials or tribulations And always, it seems like always, it by doing this process, the next best step you should take in whatever you're dealing with illuminates itself, because now you're seeing where you're trying to go. It's like putting it in one of those Google Maps or Waze. Yeah, this is where I'm trying to go. But then as you're going, there's a construction on the road or a car accident or whatever that is. You look down at your GPS and it says, all right, yeah, you need to make a left turn here and go around it this way to still get to your destination. And that's what I'm finding that these I am mind maps are doing for me and my clients, and the people that I'm coaching, is that it provides that a resource for you to not wallow or be impacted by negativity longer than what you should, or it helps you get back on track faster than trying to just deal with things in your mind or deal with it, by drinking or whatever you're doing to try to deal with your problem. You can always reference back to this tool to be like, all right, this is what I declared my life to be about. Despite what's going on, what do I need to do next? And almost always, Kyle, it will give you the answer. It will illuminate for you just because you can see it out there versus trying to make decisions on what your next step is in here. You can actually see it. It's like literally like a football playbook. All right, I
Right.
just got a sack. Now it's 3rd and 15. What do? I'm going to my playbook. What's my next best play I should run under the circumstances? And that's what I believe is kind of been setting me apart, is giving people that tool that they can take long after hearing me, at a weekend intensive or whatever that may be. They now have a strategy or a tool to help them navigate to make sure that they're loving and living their best life possible during this short life that we have. Hope that makes sense.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. One of the things that every life coach that I've had on the show seems to have in common is that, power of
Hmm.
positive thinking. Visualize this and you will have it.
Hmm.
A lot of them refer to The Secret. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with that.
Yeah. Law
And
of
believe me,
attraction. Yeah.
yeah, the law of attraction. And believe me, I worked very hard on thinking positively, but there's got to be more to it than just that
Hmm.
because it doesn't seem to work.
Right. Right. And that's one of the things that I've been learning and teaching my students is it doesn't work primarily because a lot of that positive thinking is not getting to the core of who you are. You know what I mean? It's just surface level stuff,
Right.
you know, and it doesn't really get to the depth of what really your life is about. You know what I mean? A lot of people are faking themselves. Yeah, I want to be positive. I want to be positive, but unconsciously they're like, man, bullshit. That you're not, that's not who you are. You're lying to yourself about that's, you want to do this, but that's not really the depth of who you are. And the depth of who you are is where the change needs to happen if you want it to last a long time. You can't sit there and keep telling yourself all of this when your unconscious is saying something different. That's where I believe this I am process really helps a lot, is because it really gets to the depth of who you are on the unconscious level. So when you go to say something positive, it's actually layered on some type of positivity shift that you made on a core level. What really is your spiritual relationship to your higher power? Not just because you say you're a Christian or say you're a Muslim or say that, but no, but what's truly your personal relationship to your higher power is what the I am system really gets you thinking about. And you actually be able to see my relationship with my higher power, and as we do that same kind of thought-provoking question and analysis when it comes to your health, wealth, success, and happiness, you go to a deeper structure. So when you do add an incantation or an affirmation or a positive statement on top of it, it complements the depth of your soul versus you laying sugar on top of shit, which don't last. You know, it doesn't last a long time. So I hope that answers your question on
Yeah.
why I think that my message is unique and why it's been resonating on so many different levels is because it helps you access the core of who you are, not just try to cover up and layer a bunch of stuff on top of a foundation that's not solid.
Right.
An example that I may have just briefly with you is that I find that a lot of people they set goals and they really work hard to achieve a goal, only to get to that, achieve that goal, and realize it's not providing that fulfillment that they thought they were going to have when they got there. And that's because they wasn't true to or clear and true to who they were, which caused them to set a goal that wasn't in alignment with their core,
Right.
of who they are. So that's why a lot of my students and student athletes that I work with, I have them get really clear on who you are and what do you want first. Then let's talk about goal setting. So you, at least the goals that you're setting are in alignment or complementary to who you're declaring yourself to be versus just saying I want to be, XYZ, only to find out that that's not really in alignment with your personality. It's not in alignment with your vision, or so it's not giving you the fulfillment that you thought you were going to have before you embarked on this, however many sacrifices you had to make to achieve a goal, or you know yeah, and I've been finding that, with the I am mind map, people have been getting so clear with themselves that they've been like, you know what, this job is not giving me the satisfaction. And they feel more empowered now to make a change,
Right.
because I know who I am now. I know I'm heading now. So I don't need to be in this bad relationship anymore because I know what kind of relationship that's going to best serve me. And this ain't it. This
Right.
job is not it. Or like with students that I'm talking to in college now, when they get clear with themselves, I'm walking freshmen through these processes now in universities, and they're able to have the power to withstand peer pressure like they've never had before, and avoid some of those things that we do in college that we may regret. Like, so they're like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take that drug. I'm not going to have this experience because that's not on my I am mind map.
Right.
I know what I'm doing here, so I hope that helps a little bit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now, how many books do you have?
At 10, yeah,
10
at 10
books.
books.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're all around various aspects on how to apply a mind map to love and live your best life. Yeah, I mean, that's the theme of all of my books, from Blessed and Grateful to Love Life to Big Play Power, which is all for student athletes, showing them how to make big plays on and off the field by using mind maps to get really clear. What do you want from the game? What do you want from your life? To I Am is probably my newest book. It was an Amazon hot new release book, which is really walking people through how to develop their own I Am mind map. I did a TEDx talk, by the way, for you and your listeners a couple years ago that really kind of digs a little deeper into that darkness and how I went through that box and created my I Am mind map to transform my life. And I wrote a book on it and got mini courses and 4-week courses and things of that nature to really help people go through that process. So by the end, they're like empowered of clarity on this is who I am, and this is what I want my life to be about, which is I'm very passionate about it, just helping people get clear so they're not making mistakes, not living in regret or guilt or making poor decisions and stressing and what I say drinking for all the wrong reasons.
Right.
Yes, cause yeah, yeah. So I'm grateful for you to have me on your show to hopefully add some value to you and your listeners. And I'm here for anyone. If you guys have any questions, you can always reach me at johndiggs.com or john@johndiggs.com. And if you reference this show, I got some special love I want to share with you and
Oh wow.
special gifts that I like to impart with. So for sure, just to help people. That's my mission. I feel that's my calling. Out of all of the football stuff that I've done and mortgage stuff that I've done, and even the stuff that I'm doing now, they were all great things and brought some fulfillment in my life, but none like what I'm doing now, which is just passionate just to try to help others. I mean, that really gives me my juice. That gives me my juice
Right.
now to hear people say, "Thank you, John, for you really helped me navigate through, a challenge I was dealing with. And now I'm truly feeling fulfilled and self-aware on who I am and what my life is about." So I mean that's what I'm man, there's no better feeling than that, when you know that you're really helping other humans, live a better quality of life.
Now, are your books only available on Amazon?
Yeah, they're on Amazon. They're also available in Audible. They're on Audible as well, the audio versions on Audible, as well as the Audible versions on Amazon.
Okay. I will put your links in the description to make it easier for folks to find you. But
Thank you.
Mr. John, thank you so much for coming on the show, man.
Hey, I'm always here for you, Kyle. If you need anything, man, don't hesitate to reach out to me. If there's ways I can support you or help you with any projects you have going on, man, don't hesitate to reach out to me, brother. You're my brother for life. I
Thank
greatly
you.
appreciate you, man, and I'm always here for you, man. Know that to be true.
Thank you. And you're always welcome back. And I also want to
Thank you.
thank all you folks out there. If you are new to the channel, I hope you'll come back. Please hit that subscribe button. For my regulars, you guys are awesome because you make it possible for me to do this. Until the next one, everyone, please take care. Be kind to one another. God bless and peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Listen to the Vibes. You can catch us on Buzzsprout or wherever you listen to your favourite podcasts, and on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook at The Vibes Broadcast Network